Another marketing podcast? Aw, puke. But what if it was more? I'm Shauna, and I'm your host of Marketing Rebels. Why are we rebels? Well, we're going to talk about that as we go through this podcast here. And we're going to dive into a little bit more about why this podcast even exists. Let's be real. There are a lot of them out there, and they talk about the same stuff, right? We're talking about marketing with algorithms, with data, with analytics, with this, that, and the other. Well, we are going to be talking about all that. Don't get me wrong, but we're going to be taking a new angle. We're going to be looking at this stuff from the perspective that we are never, and I mean this, we are never not marketing. All right. I know it seems like a pretty big claim, but let me explain. First, I'm going to tell you where I kind of started from. I started out my journey as a conversion copywriter. I really love writing. I love all things words. The magic of words is just absolutely beautiful. From there, I emerged as an organic content marketing strategist and then blossomed as a brand messaging expert. So all the things that I'm delivering to my clients is infused with conversion copywriting, words that get people to take action. Now, why does that matter? Well, that's because everything you do, the actions that you perform on the day to day, whether you're standing in line at the grocery store or you're showing up as the host of a podcast, it is marketing. It is marketing yourself. Whether you are in your pajamas or in your best three-piece suit, you are marketing yourself by what you do and what you say. So let's dive in. Now, first of all, why the heck should I start a podcast? Now, number one, I wanted to start this podcast because I wanted to talk about things that actually mattered. And this is what I'm talking about when I first started out, with how gross it is to think about how many marketing podcasts are there. How many podcasts are there that are going to be talking to you about data, analytics, all of that jazz? These anal retentive gurus who are going to tell you to show up in this specific way, in this particular model, in this particular framework that may or may not actually work for you, but because they say it works, then you must do it. Well, now I am not in that mindset. I am not that person. This world is diverse in the multitudinous ways that you could possibly show up for yourself, and your business should not be stymied by some self-touting guru who's going to be waving their own flag instead of yours. And that's where I come from. That's where we're coming from here. It's people first. We are indeed people first. And as such, we do not fit into a mold, right? We don't fit into a mold. It's just simply not going to happen. Now, why did I start this journey towards the podcast world? Why bother? I'm going to, of course, tell you about it. I was sitting absolutely stewing about the world. About the world. I'll be honest, I'm a philosopher at heart. I come from a psychology background. I'm really interested in the human condition and how we function as a society, and how we receive and interpret information, and how we then take action afterwards. You can see where copywriting and marketing and branding all kind of tie into this world and into my passion. And the reason I was stewing about the world is because we are currently living in this triggered society. It seems like no matter what somebody says, they're triggered. They're just going to go off like a light every single time. Something, you don't agree with something somebody does, or you're at opposing opinions about the same, but you're on the same trajectory. You've got the same idea of, oh yeah, I agree with this founding principle. However, I take a different look at this, so therefore we must be mortal enemies. It causes me strife. It causes me strife. And so I said, where am I seeing the opposite of that? Where am I seeing respect and kindness and self-advocacy alongside giving others permission to embody their own self-advocacy, even if it is in opposition to our own beliefs, right? Where am I seeing this sort of behavior modeled large scale to the masses? Not many places. In fact, I couldn't find any. I really couldn't find any easily accessible space where you could have conversations about potentially polarizing topics, and agree to disagree and lead with respect and still leave the conversation caring deeply for another person's well-being, even though you're on different paths. And that bothered me. That bothered me a lot, and so much so that I wound up speaking to a number of different people about the ways that I can change the world by looking at life from different angles, by having difficult conversations, by broaching lighthearted conversations and deep, meaningful conversations, potentially polarizing conversations, with the same air of acceptance and love and kindness. And I know that sounds hokey, but it is my belief that if things seem hokey, or if you use the word cliche, oh, it's so cliche. It's cliche for a reason, because it matters, because it's used so often, because it matters, right? And so I want to shed light to these things that matter, within our world, as people who are never not marketing, as people who are always showing up in different aspects of the world, both personally and professionally. And you need to be able to receive information, process information, and respond to said information that you're being marketed in a way that markets yourself as a leader in doing what is right, in doing the things that bring the most harmony and love and kindness into the world. Call me a hippie. That's all right. I don't mind. Now, how are we going to tackle this in the form of a podcast? I'm going to be inviting, in fact, I've already invited a bunch of really cool people to talk to me. So this is going to be a conversation, and I want you to join the conversation. I want you to be here with us, talking about the various things that we experience in our day-to-day. The people that are joining me are experts. The people that are joining me have experienced real things and who have studied real things and have practiced real things. These people are here to talk to us about what does it mean to show up as a human in your personal and professional life while marketing yourself and receiving marketing in a way that is responsible, respectful, in a way that allows you to think critically and make informed decisions as you move forward, because we know that that is an important part of marketing. You're going to hear every single other marketing podcast out there is going to talk to you about analytics and data and how to read that information and make responses within the construct of your digital professional marketing, your ads, your XYZ, who knows, whatever you're doing when you're showing up for your business. And we're going to take that to the next step. We're going to take that to the next level. Not only are we going to look at that for the actual tactical marketing your business bit, but we're also going to look at this from the perspective of we are humans and we need to navigate this world in a way that we can take out the things that aren't working and put more into the world, our world, the world around us, of the things that are working, the things that are bringing people together and making the space a better place to be. This is extremely important to me and extremely important to other progressive and innovative entrepreneurs who are really ready to make an impact on this world, leaving the legacy that they know they were meant to leave. That's why we're having these conversations. That's why we're doing this. I want to talk to you about some of the things that I'm really looking forward to in this podcast, in this Marketing Rebels Breaking Business Barriers, because we are going to be breaking down those barriers. Now, before I talk to you about some of these exciting things that you're going to be surprised to hear I'm excited about, because there's things that people typically don't get excited about. Before I tackle that, I want to talk about that last little bit there about breaking business barriers. The thing is, right now, a huge marketing, and I'm going to use quotes here, trend, because it's not really a trend. It's always existed, but we're seeing a larger push for it right now, is this idea that brands and businesses, people want to befriend them. And what I mean by that is that people want to engage with them on a personal level. They want to be they want to feel seen, heard, and understood. They always have. But they also want to see, hear, and understand the brand on a very intimate level. They want to know that the brand resonates with their values. They want to know that the brand is taking steps to make their life better in more than just a transactional interaction. They want to see it on a larger scale. This is really important. And this is why this type of marketing, this type of sticky, get in the messy business type of marketing is really the stuff that's going to drive your business forward. That's why we're having these conversations on a tactical marketing platform here. That's why we're doing this. Now, why am I excited? What is really getting me excited? And you're going to be surprised to hear this. What's getting me excited are things like being wrong. I'm actually really excited for the time when I say, I have an opinion. And then somebody counters that opinion with something that makes a whole hell of a lot more sense. And I go, well, damn. I guess I'm wrong. And admitting that graciously, because now I'm able to evolve my level of thinking to embody this new perspective. And I think that's really important. Another thing I'm really looking forward to is to disagree with someone and to vehemently disagree with someone, to have myself and a guest truly just not agree. Just, no, you haven't convinced me. You haven't changed my mind. Right? You haven't. And it's okay. And to leave with love and respect and compassion. And to let it be okay to do so. To not feel triggered or heated, but rather to know that even though we take different approaches, our end goal is to make the world the better place. And we are not causing harm to anyone. Another one of my little rules. So yeah, I'm really excited to do that. I'm also excited to put my foot in my mouth. To say something and to have somebody correct me and have me say, oh yes, I was not only wrong, but I wish to retract all that I've said about this particular topic and approach it with new eyes. I'm excited to do that. That means I'm growing. That means I'm learning. That means I'm evolving. That means I'm taking my marketing and the way I can market myself to the next level. It's a lot deeper than just numbers, than just creating content for the sake of content or copy for the sake of copy or saying something for the sake of saying something. Create meaning behind it. That's the sticky stuff. That's the stuff that matters. That's the stuff that's going to leave a lasting impression and actually get you to where you want to be. So important and so valuable in all of our worlds. Now, the last thing that I want to do here is to recount some of the, I don't want to call them rules, but more guiding principles that I use when I'm approaching these conversations that I invite you to be a part of. Number one, and I've said this a few times now, but I'm going to say it again. And I think it bears saying more than just here. If you would like to take this and carry it with you, absolutely, please do. I would love to see you do so. Shout it to the world. Lead with kindness. That's number one. Lead with kindness. Cause no harm. Right? These are really important things to do. You can hold opinions while expressing yourself with kindness and ensuring, because you're thinking first, right? You're thinking first. Is what I'm going to say, pardon my opinion, led with kindness insofar as it will not cause harm to another person? And I don't just mean the person you're speaking to. I mean anybody who could potentially hear this and anyone who could hear it through the game of telephone. Because remember, whatever you say will inevitably get said again, right? So lead with kindness, cause no harm. Another thing that a good friend of mine taught me was the yes and statement. So instead of using but, which is a go-to for a lot of people, you say la da 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 but da 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 da. But that kind of negates what you first said. And I get caught up in this too. Don't get me wrong. I get caught up in this too. But something that I'm trying to practice for myself and that I would love to encourage you and all of my guests to practice as well is the yes and statement. Yes. That exists. Your opinion is valid. Your feelings are valid. Yes. And I feel this way about it. And this way about it might be the same, or it might be drastically different. And that's okay. So with that, I want to let you know that you can expect a new podcast every single week where we're going to be talking about everything from theology to racism to the LGBTQ plus community and all of the different dynamics within that. And those are very heavy topics, and expand those topics to include a lot more of the heavy stuff. But fret not, it will not all be heavy stuff. We're also going to talk about things like human design, values, wine, Star Wars, probably Harry Potter, and maybe a little bit of Taylor Swift, Jason Mraz, and a bunch of music stuff in between. Everything. Because remember, you're never not marketing. In fact, maybe next time I'll talk about ice cream. It's lunchtime. So with that, I invite you to add this to your playlist. Absolutely add this to your playlist. That way you don't miss what's coming out next. It's so important for you to join in these conversations, contribute your valuable insights, and, well, maybe hop on the show once in a while, because it would be fun to chat with you in person. Anyways, chat soon.